Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. 80's Timeless Icons, the Shadow of Speed is on the map. I'm going to give you my quick take on this event. You win the Buick GNX in this event. There's already a Roadsters Shops Buick Grand National in the game. This one might be a copy of that or might be some kind of modification of that particular car. The good news is the Buick that's already in the game is pretty decent, and if you already have that car, you may actually have some fusions. And that is the bad news, is that cars like this, which is a relatively few car available brand or a relatively new brand, fusions are really difficult to get, and particularly blue-red fusions to fill the car for the purpose of finishing the event. Now, you win this car at race 70 as typical of this kind of event, and then that's the end of the event. So they're not expecting you to build this to do anything, so that's, I guess, a positive. But the negatives, of course, even if you get the car as a prize car and then they use it in something else down the line, you're going to probably have a difficult time getting this car to a point where it becomes truly viable. Lock-ins for the event are pretty straightforward. The first lock-in is the one with all the options, and then the other four are specific cars. The first lock-in, use whatever's fully maxed. I mean, that's all I can advise you. Usually better to use a tier 5, but tier 4's fully maxed versus a really missing a lot of part tier 5. I would go with the fully maxed car anytime, all the time. When you get to lock-in number 2, now you have 4 specific options and you cannot use other cars, and each time you lock in one for one of the lock-ins, this option will be gone and its variant will be gone, meaning you do need the 959 SC, either the tier 4 or tier 5, the Jack Roush Mustang, the MC Stradale Purple Star or Gold Star, and finally the Showdown prize, the Torino. Otherwise, you're not going to finish the event. People always ask, what if I have both 959 SCs? Can I lock in 2 separate lock-ins? The short answer is never. They never allow that. They want you to use 4 specific cars. And the variants are just there so you can select a variant if it's more built than the variant that you otherwise have that's not built. Now, MC12 came as something as a gold star, whether it's milestone or something else. I never bought the purple star, but since I have the gold star, I will build that and use that. Jack Roush you can get in collections. In fact, this is only 800 tickets right now, and it's one of the better cars in collections for any new player. So I would definitely recommend you to pick this up because it could give you a leg up, I should say, on live racing from a beginner's point, because it uses Ford Fusions, which are plentiful. You can buy and strip Mustangs, buy and strip Fiestas, and then get the Fusions filled out. Stage 6 is a little more difficult, but overall this is still a great car even at stage 5 only. The 2 959s, the tier 4 one is better, but the tier 5 one and the MC12 might be the ones available to acquire for either keys or some other method, versus the tier 4, which is still in the rear imports as a random drop, but unless they make that available for keys with loyalty, your chance of grabbing it by random chance is very, very slim. Now, the Torino is the one that requires you to go to the related Showdown. No tofu lost. It's obviously an Initial D type reference. It's the car from Initial D, so not a surprise there. You win that, as typical of these Showdowns nowadays, at 1400. The cars that you must use, right? There are Apex car lists all over the place, but my understanding is that the CLK GTR is the Apex car, followed by the 1992 NSX Type R, fully elite, fully maxed as the next runner-up, and then things kind of go downhill from there. Definitely any of the tier 4 cars are going to be on the much slower end of the list, and then your tier 5 cars, the GT2 993 might be the next one on the list. I'm not sure of the overall list other than the top 2, which are the ones I care about the most, since I have the CLK GTR and I believe it is fully maxed. That will be my go-to for this event. Now, once you get the Torino, you would have to lock that in, and by that point, most likely the final lock-in. And recently, at least for the final lock-in, they tend to make it not as challenging on the final lock-in races as they've done in the past, kind of expecting that you won't be able to build it up quickly. The Torino is a Toyota. Okay, I'm hoping that it doesn't use specialized fusions, because it shouldn't. It should just use Toyota fusions. Where's that price? Hold on. So it's a Toyota. Yep, it's a Toyota. Now, just so you know, in preparation for this, and if you're a newer player with not that many Toyota Fusions available, go buy the Toyota 86 Tier 1 in the dealership, strip them. You get 2-3 Fusions at a time. I think it's 2 because it's a no star. You can always upgrade it to stage 3 for 3 Fusions, or stage 4 or 5 for more Fusions, but it's a waste of money. Just buy the car and strip as many as you can to get as many green and blue Fusions as needed for the Toyota. What you're going to be missing are red Fusions. It's the same problem building the GR Supra, but if, let's say, you're a newer player and your GR Supra isn't fully elite yet, you can use Parts Crate with bronze keys to get hopefully a few epic Fusions as well. But building the Torino, the biggest problem is going to be epic Fusions, and obviously stage 6s. But you know, those who use Race Pass and have a paid Race Pass that actually works can always take care of the Fusions and other things as well. Overall, again, while I don't consider any of these events ever free event, depending on how you acquired the 959 and the MC12, if they're all acquirable, so to speak, without cash, actual cash, then it is technically a free event. But that doesn't make it easy, doesn't make it accessible, and doesn't make it possible just because it's technically not going to cost you real cash. I have some ongoing game issues of not seeing either the tournament or the race pass popping up, just as a side note. So my mentioning about race pass fusions, the universal fusions and stage 6s, well, it'll be nice if I got them, but for at least the past season or two, I can't get them. So that right there is my take on this event. With any of these events in CSR2, the short answer is no, you don't have to do them. Okay, no, the car isn't going to make your game so much better that you would never want to get another car in the game. The whole point of the game is to make you get more cars, and you will want the next and greatest, you know, the newest and greatest that's going to come along. But not getting a event car isn't going to really affect you in the grand scheme of things. So keep that in mind before you start dumping real money or too much of your effort into each event, particularly if you're newer to this game. Well, that's my take on this event. I hope you gained some insight, or some of that information was useful. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you like my channel and like my takes on events, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get notified when I put up new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.